Hi, thank you. So I'm sorry that you can't see my face. For some reason, I cannot share the screen, the presentation, and my face, but I will say hello at the end. I'm very excited to present Work Package 10, which is the Advanced Policy Formulation and Policy Packaging and Roadmap. All of you that were here yesterday and today saw that policy is a key factor in each project, in each case study. And so we are very happy to lead this project. I will start by showing the overview of Work Package 10. I will talk just shortly about policy packaging. We'll go through the task, interlinkages with other WPs, and we'll talk about risk and mitigation. So for start, Work Package 10 is related to Objective 9 in the water mining project, which promised to design and test a mix of European national policy and regulatory measures that will stimulate a successful adoption of water mining technologies, the case studies, and of course, taking into account market failure and policy failure. And the specific objectives of Work Package 10 is to develop policy packages for policymakers and other stakeholders to enable innovation, circular economy business models, and of course, the three forms of water. And of course, to create and test and validate the implementation of roadmap based on this policy. So what it is policy packaging and why are we using it? Usually policy, unfortunately, are not being implemented, or when they implemented, one policy measure cannot bring the result that we are looking for. And sometimes we find specific contradictions between policy measures, and that's why we're using the policy packages to deal with these contradictions and make sure that the policy we offer is effective and efficient. So policy package is actually a combination of policy measures designed to address one or more policy objectives, and they created in order to improve, as I mentioned, the effectiveness of individual policy measures and facilitate the implementation of these. So just a short description of the methodology, because we've already did a kickoff meeting with the Work Package 10 partners, and we will for sure will have another meeting soon. We've already presented the methodology, but I'll just shortly describe it to you. The policy packaging is based on two blocks. The first one is the basic package, which consists of policy measures that address to achieve the goals that we've defined, and it's based on 4 steps. And the effective package, which is based on the basic package, includes ancillary measures to deal with the effectiveness of the basic package and the implementability of the basic package policy measures. So just a short description. When we look at the deliverables, we've promised to deliver, first of all, by the end of December, a policy packaging methodology and its applicability to water mining. I don't know if I mentioned before, but in the Jerusalem Institute, we've already used the policy packagings in previous European projects and Horizon 2020 project. But of course, because of the unique characteristic of the water mining and the 3 forms of water, we will have to adjust the methodology of the policy packaging to the water mining project. Then we've promised to deliver a policy inventory, a policy gap analysis, which will be based on existing policy in the different countries that we are working with, in the case studies countries, to understand which policies are already out there to identify best practices and, of course, policy failures. And then we promised to deliver the policy recommendation, which will come in the form of 3 policy packages for the 3 forms of water. Later on, this process, of course, will be including an engagement of stakeholders, policy stakeholders and industry stakeholders, and together with them, with their feedback, we will fine-tune the policy packages. And finally, we've promised to deliver a roadmap for effective policy implementation. The main milestone of the project are, first of all, as we mentioned, the policy package concept and methodology fitting to the water mining project, policy review. Then we will have the basic policy package report, which, as I mentioned, is the first layer of the policy packaging process. During this process, we with stakeholders, to share with them our policy recommendation, to receive their feedback, to try to identify with them policy failure, market failure, and how policy can mitigate this failure and contradictions between policy measures. And then we will design the effective policy package report, which is another significant milestone. Again, we will have workshop with stakeholders to receive input. And finally, we'd like to test the impact of these policy packages in different countries. We will introduce the effective policy packages in workshops and conferences to test their feasibility. Finally, we will deliver the final milestone will be the roadmap to implement these policy packages based on the testing of the impact. The description of task is actually aligning with the deliverables and the milestones that I've just went through. First one is the policy gaps analysis. Then we will develop task 10.2 will be develop the policy packages. 10.3 will be subsector policy specification. As I mentioned, we will fine-tune the policy recommendation. And then we will have business and policy makers workshops to work with them, to receive input, to share our recommendation. And finally, we'll test the feasibility and the impact of the policy packages. And last but not least will be the roadmap. The first year significant milestone will be deliverable 10.1, which will describe the methodology as it fits to the water mining project. And then in a part of the task 10.2, which is the policy analysis, we will try to submit the draft of this deliverable earlier than we promised in the project, so the partners and the teams for the policy packages can use the background of the policy research. And then as part of task 10.3, which is the policy packaging building process, we will start step 1 in January 2021, which will be to identify and define the goals that we want to achieve in each policy package, in each forms of water. And then step 2 will be to come out with an inventory of policy measures that will help us achieve the goals that we will define. And step 3 will be to come out with criteria for implementability and effectiveness of the policy measures. And this way we will rate the policy measures and choose the promising one. The main interlinkages with other WPs as Work Package 10 is actually working together with the case studies and Work Package 2. I can say that Work Package 10 is actually partially or indirectly derived from the case studies, because what we want to promise with policy is that the uptake of the technology of our case studies and of course the circular economy business models of these technologies to promise more countries in Europe using these technologies. We will do so also with the help of Work Package 2 with the community of practice. As I mentioned, this process includes significant involvement and engagement of stakeholders from the policy, from the industry, from the society to promise that we will deliver an efficient and easy to implement policy recommendation, and also to achieve the impact that we've promised and to test and to build a roadmap. We will be working with Work Package 11 to disseminate and to communicate our policy recommendation. I'll just add another comment to this, is that in the previous project that we worked in under Horizon 2020, the R2Pi project, which dealt with circular economy business models, we've actually, our recommendation, the policy packages, was integrated in the second circular economy European action plan, which was a great achievement for us, and it will be something that we would like to achieve in this project also. Here in this slide, I'm showing how the 3 forms of water represent 3 policy packages. The first one would be the resource, the sea mining, and which will be based, of course, on Work Package 3 and the case study 1 and case study 2. We thought, of course, this is not final, and it's something that we can discuss again with the partners and the consortium, but we thought because of the personal month that were allocated to the partners, that Natua could lead this policy package, the resource policy package, of course with collaboration with other partners, and JIIS will coordinate this. The second policy package would be the consumable, the urban mining policy package, and it will be based on WAR Package 4, WAR Package 5, which are case studies 3, 4, and 5. TU Delft will lead this in collaboration with the partners, and USC will coordinate this. And the third policy package will be the durable industrial mining, which will be based on WAR Package 6 and case study 6. CILI will lead this one, and of course, this will be in collaboration with Natua, TU Delft, and JIIS will coordinate this. Now, I'll talk about the risk and mitigation measures because the policy packaging process, in the work package 10, the policy packages, we have a risk in the allocation of personal month of the case studies partners. And some of them don't have personal month related to this. So that's why we've promised that we will work closely with the community of practice to get the feedback of experts and stakeholders on the policy packages recommendation and in the policy package process. Of course, we will also use consortium meeting for brainstorming for some of these steps for building the policy packages process demands partners brainstorming, experts and stakeholders. So we will use also stakeholders meeting, workshop, of course, the community of practices, and of course, JIIS will help, and Santiago de Compostela University will help in delivering these reports. That's it on my side. Thank you very much, and we hope that we can soon host you in beautiful Jerusalem if the COVID-19 will decide to stop influence our life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Yamit, for your presentation all the way from Israel. Just to go back to your case studies, you are making the sea mining, the urban mining, and the industrial mining policy packages, and I understand that that will be a policy package from each of the case studies. Am I correct?
Yes, you are correct.
Great.
Because we are actually trying to, as I mentioned, to make sure that the technology will be scaled up and that we could see more business models allowing this technology to be implemented in Europe.
Okay, thank you. But then for work package 4 and 5, I think there was a little mistake in your slide, because that's not going to be Dimitris, but it's going to be Philip Wilford and New Mylin. Who
connected to work package 3.
Yes. Because the other one is connected to work package 3, and Dimitris is really connected to the sea mining activities. Mm-hmm. But
okay, so something that will be, we will hope to clarify with the partners in another meeting. Mm-hmm. We use this name, so we will make sure that each partner, relevant partner, can assign someone from his organization to be responsible for the policy package process. So we will clarify this, and thank you for your comment.
Okay, very, very nice. And I've got another question for you now, and that is, when you make these policy packages really related to these case studies, are you also going to provide something to generalize this so it could be useful for future demonstrations beyond water mining?
Yes, of course. As I mentioned, we will work closely with WAR Package 9 to understand the circular economy business model and to promise also the implementation of these business models. And another steps, which includes in the effective package, will be to take these 3 policy packages, 3 forms of policy packages, and try to find commonalities between them that we can recommend to the EU in order to facilitate circular economy in the water sectors in general.
Thank you very much. And it was also nice to see your face now that we did that. I'll give the word to Dimitris now.
Yes, so thank you, Yamit, for this presentation. I would like to relate that with what Violetta, also Kuzmikaite, gave us very good insights yesterday. And also she asked about the position, a vacancy for the policy officer. Are you up for this? Would you like to take
Yes,
this
of
position?
course.
So,
Yes, of
thank you
course.
for that. Yes. So the vacancy maybe it is filled, Patricia, right?
Excellent.
Excellent. And what else I would like to say, maybe for people that they don't know, the project that is now connected with water mining and with this methodology is R2Pi. And this project was very positively evaluated some months ago, maybe. And I was very impressed when Yamit said that actually they took some of the results of this project within the revision of the Circular Economy Action Plan. Is that correct, Yamit?
Yes, it's actually the exact feedback that we received from the European Commission, and it's a great achievement. Yeah.
Could you share more about that, maybe a little bit more? What exactly was that they got from this project? Because this is exactly what the European Commission needs from our project, to have evidence for their policy-making process. So maybe can you share a bit more about that?
Yes, of course. So while we were compiling the policy packages in the R2Pi project, as I mentioned, also in what we're intending to do in the water mining, we've actually conducted a deep research on policy that's already existed in different countries in Europe, and of course at the European level. And then we try to, together with understanding the market failures and barriers for businesses and companies that we work with them in the project, we try to understand which policy can help tackle these barriers and help more companies to implement circular economy business models. So for this, we actually related to existing policy, and we come out with other best practices. And based on our recommendation, we've delivered for the EU Commission 11 cross-sectorial policy recommendations that can be implemented, besides the 6 policy packages that we've developed for each one of the 6 prioritized sectors for the EU Commission. And this way, we were actually identifying specific challenges, offering specific policy measures that can be implemented. And I think that was the great value that we could offer for the EU Commission.
Thank you very much, Yamit, and congratulations with all those achievements.